Hey, Rhonda, Catherine. Oh, there we go. I was beginning to wonder if the thing was on. Oh, that's some strong lipstick there. Clearly, I haven't drank enough coffee to drink the lipstick off. Mwah. Good morning. Good morning. So, quick, housekeeping update. I hate housekeeping update. So I had a miniature meltdown yesterday when I realized that by not putting hashtag catch in the title, I lost my scope because you have to go into your settings, and check the autosave box. If that box isn't checked and then you have to resave your settings, then if you don't put it in the title, it's gone. The good news is, thank God for WebEevee, because I had sent it out again this morning, and she said, oh my God, contact Catch and they can help you. Well, I sent him a tweet in the DM, and I found an article that said 6 new ways for whatever, it's some Catch blog article. And in there, if you, God forbid, don't have your autosave box checked, Highlander, and you don't put Catch in the title, you can save yourself by going back, retweeting the title. It does have to be within the 24 hours. After the 24 hours, I think you're doomed. Retweet it, put hashtag Catch in the title, and it will go ahead and catch it for you. So you have a 24-hour slipsy window. Oops! I didn't have my autosave box checked, and I didn't put Catch in the title. Hi, Michelle. And but you still have 24 hours to fix it. So the Winnie the Pooh chat is on the Catch channel now, which makes me happy because I downloaded it, and it was one of those thumbnails where my face is like this. Yeah, I was happy with how that one came out. So, sometimes there's just that synergistic. The scope yesterday, Linda, I lost it because I didn't have the autosave box checked. So, if you want to stop putting hashtag Catch in your titles, good morning, you have to go check autosave in your catch.me channel settings. So go check autosave. Always hit the Twitter button. Nope, just got started. I was just talking about Catch. Whoops, I got a Facebook thingy. So good. We're good. I feel like that light is really strong. Hold on just one second. Let me turn that off. Watch out, kitty. It is way too cold. I'm sitting on a little squatty stool thing. Yes, so go to your catch.me channel. Good morning. And go to settings. Down at the bottom, there is a box that says autosave. Check that box and then save your settings. And you can stop putting Catch in the title. You do still have to send it out on Twitter. You still have to hit the little Twitter icon to send it out. But if you screw it up, there's 24 hours to fix it. So I'm so glad they put in stuff for mistakes. So good morning. Thank you. They're all up there. Hey, Kelly. I will be back this afternoon to talk about a Young Living oil, but I don't know which one yet. I can tell you, I've talked about basil before, and it seems to be making the difference between me getting sick or not sick when I'm around those germ-ridden twin granddaughters of mine. Hi, Nina. So today, it might be a good goal, or they're like little walking germ factories. It might be fun. Let's frame it that way. Hi, Nina. It might be fun to try to get through an hour or half a day or a day without labeling things good and bad. That's a big ordeal. But the real basis of Course in Miracles work is to stop it. Stop labeling. It doesn't help you at all. And it doesn't make any difference. You can label it all you want to, and it doesn't change anything. So today's teaching for October 19th, just stop it. With children in the home, you're just challenging my way too much today. Kelly, for you, you might just label them all bad and just be done with it. And not have to flip back and forth. Kelly has twins, too. Twin girls, also non-identical, and they're, I want to say 7 now. So, Kelly's been my go-to resource for what in the hell to do with these 2 babies, because we had no idea. So she's been the front runner and a great resource to me, and I'm so grateful that I can message her at 3 a.m. and say they won't stop crying, and I don't know what to do. Ooh, going on 16, yeah. My name is No, yes. So today's, yes, thank you. God, Kelly, you have no idea how grateful I am to you. I have to always check. Is this normal? Is this normal? What about this? Is this normal? And will they stop screaming at each other, and will we be able to breathe one day? Because I said so. Because I said so, damn it. Don't label today because I said so, damn it. Okay. The reading for October 19th comes from the Manual for Teachers, which I have never read. I've actually never read this book more than a hit and miss here. I found this book in the 80s and didn't do a darn thing with it. So I don't, the Manual for Teachers seems kind of silly to me, just the skimming I've done, but, there's a label for you. For October 19th, it says, from the Robert Holden book, Holy Shift. Oh, okay, we can make it to 4. It takes great learning to understand that all things, events, encounters, and circumstances are helpful. All of them. Your youngest is still noisy in his sleep. Ugh. Ugh. It takes great learning to understand that all things, events, encounters, and circumstances are helpful. My personal belief is they can't be seen that way until you understand the role that story's playing in it, and until you get some objectivity and you learn to take control of that storytelling thing that we do. From the book, it's the Teacher's Manual, Chapter 4, Section 1A, Verse 4. Oh, hi.
Hi, Dinky.
Oh my God, your hands are freezing! Jeez. It's still cold. Go away. Go put some gloves on.
Yeah, I'm going to do stuff.
Yeah, he's cute, isn't he? He's funny. So it says that you all are teachers, right? Or you wouldn't be here. You all have stuff to teach. Depends on the day, Linda. That's not true. He is actually always sweet. He has that thing where his vocal tones we work with. Thank you. We've done a lot of hard work. We've been together for 6 years, and we've done a lot of work. So, hard work pays off. It takes great learning to understand that all things, events, encounters, and circumstances are helpful. When you're going through this stuff, you start to find that a lot of things that you valued are suddenly meaningless. And that can be a little disorienting. This can leave you feeling disoriented when all of a sudden your goals that you were striving so hard for feel empty and flat. They just suddenly don't make sense anymore. You thought you had your career plan laid out for your life, and then boom. Either you get fired, or you get laid off, or your company moves to another state and you can't move. Retirement, you retire and you have to, figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. And that can leave you feeling really adrift until you stop labeling. When you stop labeling, you understand that it's just change. An injury, yes. Yes, my brother-in-law, Chris, Catherine's husband, was completely derailed by an injury, like forever derailed. He can't ever do the work he was doing again because of an injury. So things happen and you get pushed off course. And we think our course is so certain. We go to school, we learn a trade, or we go to college, we do that job, and that's what we do, and we retire. Those days are over. That's ridiculous. Those days are over. For a great many people, especially people in their 20s and 30s, those days don't exist anymore. Companies don't try to keep you anymore. We've become so nomadic and disposable almost. There's 100 engineers, there's 100 programmers, there's tons of human resource managers, there's a therapist on every corner. We have a lot of population, and we have a lot of educated population. So corporations have really come to view you as replaceable. Corporations and agencies, human service agencies, political agencies, people just really don't fight to keep you anymore. If you can approach life with, replaced by computers, automation, thanks, Catherine. They have really done well. They've really done well with handling the changes and the role changes. So, you've got your life laid out, and if you aren't viewing everything as helpful, everything coming at you, there's an affirmation floating around out somewhere, I think, with the Access Consciousness people. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life. Your personal therapist, yeah. I guess that's the advantage of having a sister as a therapist, or has been a therapist. When we see ourselves as separate, we label. When we see ourselves as separate, we feel lonely, isolated, victimized, and weak. We're scrambling around trying to do things on our own power. We feel like we've got to do it all. And that happens even when you're an entrepreneur and working from home. If you're doing Young Living, or if you're doing, like I do, the artwork and the coaching stuff, the marketing stuff is difficult. Very difficult. Because I've labeled it that way. I've watched too many, until this year, actually I would say until the last maybe 4 months, I've watched way too many how to market your materials webinars. Yuck. It might be the way for the masses, but it's not the way for people like you and I. The people that meet together in scopes like this, and Sarah Ballard and Jess Carlson, we're not the people that those things work for. It's just not, it doesn't fit. And then it doesn't work, and then it can kind of hit you in your self-esteem, because you're like, well, I'm following instructions, it's not working. Well, it's not meant to work, because that's not you. That's not who you are. You're deeper than that. You probably are marketing something that's deeper than that. If you feel totally different now than when I began and decided on my 2-year journey to earn my degree. Yeah, it's old school. Absolutely. Old school is a good word for it. It doesn't fit anymore. The paradigm has shifted. The paradigm is shifting and has shifted for a lot of people. We're finding new fun ways. Yeah. Definitely check out Martha Beck. For sure. Why does it not work for me? What's wrong with me? Yes. So the traditional path doesn't work, and you're like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I make it through school? Why can't, for a lot of young people, making it through our traditional setup school is heartbreakingly horrible. Fortunately, alternative high schools have popped up, and there's some other options you can find. You have 6 classes left. Email me and well, sometimes the achievement of finishing that degree can feel pretty good because it's hard. It's an exercise in discipline. You were so into it, but now you're not. You know, I'm going to have to go with Tanya on that. Sit with it in your heart. Most people I know that were that close to finishing and didn't finish later on regretted it. Even if you never use it, sometimes the act of completion, yes. Yeah, I would finish it too. You might not ever use it, but here's the thing: you started a big long project, and finishing it is going to feel good. So much of our energy is spent. Yeah, you can set it aside, but you've got it. Yes. An act of completion. Yes, act of completion is accomplishment in and of itself. Just finishing something. And you guys have to judge for yourself. Like, is it really time to bail? Is it resistance? Is it... People ask me what I'm going to do, and you say none of your business. Oh, none of your business. Right. So, I had a couple of sections here marked that I wanted to read to you. Just random stuff. Where is it? Sorry, guys. It goes back to the seek not outside yourself thing for the lasting. Sometimes we've started projects and we have momentum built up, and finishing them is important. And it's almost like it gives you something to do in the in-between. So when you've made a shift and your plans are still clicking along, playing out, finishing a project can give you something to do while you're waiting for the new stuff to show up. So you've said you're not sure you know what you want to do now. So you can spend the time finishing your degree, hanging out, and approaching life with that attitude of curiosity and not dismissing anything that crosses your path, being totally open and non-labeling of every idea you hear, of every mention that catches your interest. Pursue it all. Pursue all the leads that you hear. Google is our friend that way. I mean, you can really get a lot of information about stuff. And then you can spend a lot of time sitting in meditation or walking meditation or whatever to get a sense of where you want to go. So Martha Beck calls that tracking. Look, when you're tracking an animal, yeah, we love Uncle Google. So when you're tracking an animal, if you've ever gone hiking, you see raccoon tracks or bear tracks or whatever, you'll see tracks for a while and then they fade off and disappear. Martha Beck calls the process of finding your calling in life for this period of your life because it changes. We don't do just one thing anymore. We do one thing for a while, and then we're called to do something else, and it may build on what we've done, but it's probably going to be very different. So when you lose your way, when you start to feel like confused, go back to the last hot track. The hot track is where the bear paw print is clear. That might mean going all the way back to childhood. It means going back to where you knew what you wanted to do, where you knew what you loved. Let's say that. When you knew what you enjoyed. sometimes that means going back to 4 years old, 5 years old. When you've lost the track, when you can't see the tracks to follow, you don't know your path, backtrack. Go backwards. Go backwards and find out where you got off your path, and go back to the last point in time that you can remember where you were certain you were enjoying yourself, or you were certain you knew what you wanted to do. And even when you start a degree and decide you're not into it anymore, there may be aspects of it that are going to be useful to you in what you end up doing. No education is wasted, ever, ever, never. It's never wasted. But you may use it in a completely unique way. Yeah, just go back. Go back. When was the last time you were so excited to do something? When was the last time in your life that you lost time? Amen. Hallelujah, sister. When was the last moment in time where you couldn't wait to get started on something? And what was it about? Was it service to others? Was it creating things? Was it helping a friend? What was the last thing that wild horses couldn't have stopped you from doing whatever it was. You can't remember. Yeah. Yeah, the last few months when you've buckled down on your new business. Yes. And you're loving it. Right. So you're on your path. You're tracking your bear. I think Martha Bex uses the rhino example because she takes people to Africa on these fantastic trips that I would love to go on someday. Except I'm kind of scared to go out in the jungle. I don't know, I'm kind of a weenie that way. The Jeopardy theme song. So if you're not labeling, to go back to what we were talking about, if you're not labeling, then you can find your way easier because you're not dismissing. Earworm. Yes, now you've done it. If I go back in time and find when I'm 8 years old, say, and I'm super excited about something, and then I label that as bad or not good enough, I just slammed the door shut on myself. I've just lost my way again. So having beginner's mind, having open mind, which comes from not labeling, you don't shut the door on stuff by accident. Because the labeling tendency comes from others. Or before someone tells you not to be excited. Yes, it comes from others. It comes from teachers. It comes from parents. It comes from friends and family who are well-meaning generally. And some people are just trying to keep you from succeeding because they're jealous. But most of the times people are well-meaning, and when they say, well, you can't be a writer, you'll starve to death. Mary Oliver is one of the greatest poets, in my opinion, next to Maya Angelou. And she only ever worked whatever part-time job she could put together that would let her write. I mean, she lived, and she's fine now, obviously, but she lived on minimum wage jobs because to do anything else than that took her away from writing, and she was willing to be at the poverty level or below in order to write. She made her gift, her calling, the absolute priority and set everything else to the side. By doing so, her art has just gone on. As a mother, I'm too practical in that area. I try to not down my kids' dreams, but it's hard sometimes. Yep. Well, you can always take the path of, well, I really love that idea, and what's your backup plan? There's no problem in having a backup plan. God forbid, I could always go back to social work. What's that averting evil symbol that people do? No, who says cancel? I think it's Michelle. Shh. Michelle says that. Cancel, delete, delete. But I could, terrible circumstances, if they happened, I could go back to social work. I'd make decent money. I'd have health insurance, which I don't have right now, by the way. Delete. So, I think it's fine to encourage your kids' dreams and explore all the options. So what I used to do with Morgan when she wanted to do something is we sat and we listed every option available and all the potential maybe pros and cons that go with them. And then she chose what her heart wanted. So there's no problem with also paying attention to responsible finances. The M word. No. Limit dropper insurance. Damn it. I keep forgetting to call. I have a whole list of stuff to do. I got really behind on practical housekeeping type stuff because, that's boring and I'd rather talk to you guys and write and draw and stuff. Yeah, we have to adult. Hi, Roseanne. So first of all, find how you want to feel and don't go looking outside yourself for satisfaction. No, I don't want to adult. Okay, Jana. Hi. So the first step is don't go looking outside yourself for satisfaction, for contentment, for peace, for expression of your authenticity. Start here. Start inside yourself. Find the feeling. Find the emotion that becomes your anchor. And then don't label outside of you. And see what happens. I learned a long time ago that the things I always said I wouldn't do, I usually ended up doing. In my undergrad program, when I went for an internship, I said, put me anywhere except child protection. So that's where I got put. And I stayed there for 8 years, way too long. I said, I'll live anywhere in the United States, but I don't want to go to the East Coast. Okay, we all know how that ended up. And I actually knew a long time ago that because I didn't want to go to the East Coast, that's probably where I would end up. I want to go to the Pacific Northwest. But I'm not there. I'm like on the opposite side of the country. So take a look at that too. Like if you're totally anti something, ask yourself, why are you so anti that? Why are you so resistant to that? What's the big deal? Now we're doing that East Coast swing whether we want it or not. I actually like it. I actually do like Georgia a lot. Yeah. If you're labeling, you're cutting yourself off and you're closing doors that could potentially lead you somewhere. So sometimes you get a feeling, bye! I'll be back this afternoon with an oil, Rhonda. If you're labeling, this is good, that's bad, this is good, that's not okay, I might be able to do that, then you lose all the potential magic, all the synchronicity, that can happen if you just follow the hot track. Follow the next footprint. And you may not see the next footprint for a while, but just follow your heart. You'll start to feel interested in stuff. Follow that interest, even if it doesn't make logical sense. So if you feel interested in pursuing something and you immediately label it, well, you're done. But if you say, well, this doesn't really make sense to my logical mind, but I'm really interested in it, so I'm going to follow it. I'm going to try it on for size, and I'm just going to see where it leads. The path from the spiritually focused path doesn't go in a linear A to Z fashion. It's very circular, right? No control. Follow your interests. Follow where you feel pulled to go. And it does take getting quiet to feel that pull. But if you're curious about something, you're interested in something, follow it, even though you don't know where it's going to take you. Yeah. So you follow it, maintaining your curious, non-labeling mind, and see where it leads. It might look like it's going somewhere, and you're like, well, that's not where I want to end up. But it wasn't going to end you up there. It was going to start you here, take you over here, take you around up here, swing you back over here. Because you're so used to my mentality of, so how's this going to make me money? Yes. Yes, I'm going through the same thing. I'm going through the same thing of letting go of how's this going to make me money, and instead just doing what I feel like doing. That's how these scopes happened. Jess was doing the Holy Shift book. I could see she was losing interest in it. I was looking for a book to do a daily scope on. And I messaged her and said, hey, if you're losing interest in that book, I'd like to take it over, because I've seen A Course in Miracles many times. I've kind of looked at it. I've never really dove into it. And this would be a great way for me to do it too. Plus, I love talking about spirituality. Me too. It worked out so perfectly for both of us. She got to let it go, and the people who were interested in it got to continue. Yeah, it worked out great. That's how it should be, right? That's how it should happen. I'm interested in talking about spirituality, and I didn't have anyone to talk to because there aren't any people around here. Letting go of control. So Periscope gave me that avenue where I can talk, and whoever wants to be here can be here. That's how your life can be. You're interested in something, you're kind of thinking about doing something, go do it. Don't think about if it's going to make money. Don't think about if it's going to lead you somewhere. Yeah, there's no people around. There's no people around me here. The people who are here completely rejected my attempts at connecting, which I'm totally fine with, because I'm like, okay, well, then I'm not for you. My stuff is not for you. Not many like-minded people near you either. Yeah. There's pockets in the bigger cities, and there are pockets here, but for some reason we didn't connect, and that's all right. Periscope has given us a way to build that bridge and fill that need for people to talk to. Yeah, I don't think it's just the South either. Yeah, and we'll continue to find each other. But had any of us labeled that, it wouldn't have happened that way. Yes, me too. I love it too. Absolutely. So if you can approach today, let's just go for today, with beginner's mind, with when you hit a red light and you're in a hurry, you just suspend for that moment, wanting to label that. You stop describing it in your mind as, damn it, I'm in a hurry and there's this freaking red light. See if just for today you can go back in time and remember the last time you felt so excited to do something. And then make some notes. What was it about? Bring it to us tomorrow and let's talk about it, or, whenever. Let's talk about it. Like, what was it about? And it can lead you to the place where money will come. Or money can come from all kinds of different places. I'm doing this scope, but money comes from other places. Like, I write blog articles for dental websites sometimes. Sometimes those will show up for a little extra cash. Money just comes. It just shows up in weird places. So also not deciding where money has to come from. It doesn't have to come from what we would define as a job. It can come as a gift. It can come as free tickets. I've gotten a lot of free tickets to stuff. That's money. Count those things as income, because they are free gifts. I count that as income. The things that you all have so generously sent me, I count those as evidence of abundance in my life. So just for today, think about what excites you without thinking about how it's going to make money. So Linda, when you get ready to make malas, if you are making malas because you love them and you put them on Etsy and they don't sell, don't worry about it. That experience may be leading you to something entirely different. It may be leading you to becoming a therapist or a coach. It might be leading you to starting a group in your community. Who knows? Who knows? The act of making malas may be your spiritual healing and your spiritual growth because it keeps you in a meditative state. You just don't know. So you can't label stuff and make yourself wrong. That's why nothing that you did in the past is wrong. It just is. It just was. Yeah, stones heal. The process of making malas is healing. Crocheting and knitting for me is very meditative and healing, although I haven't done it in a while. Beauty heals. The past. Yeah. Don't let that weigh you down. Take the labels off of it. Just for today. Just try it. See if it makes you feel better. If it makes you feel better, great. Do more. Do more of it. Practice it more. So, I'm sitting on this little squatty stool. And if you guys don't have a mala, go get one. This is my second one. I have one from a Tibetan place, but it wasn't made special for me. So there's something in holding those and counting the beads and just even saying the word love over and over 108 times that really gives your mind a rest. It really allows your brain to settle down and just get a break from your monkey mind, your chihuahua brain. You have one from Hawaii? Awesome. If you're not using it, use it. It takes great learning to understand that all things, events, encounters, and circumstances are helpful, regardless of what they look like. So anything that shows up today, say, oh, how are you here to help me? What can I learn from you? Eckhart Tolle says, ask yourself, what's wrong with this moment that I'm fighting so hard against it? What's wrong with sitting in traffic that I'm fighting so hard to escape it and making myself miserable? What's wrong with doing this moment of doing the dishes that I'm crabbing in my mind about having to do it? Jack Kornfield says you can make doing dishes a holy experience. It all depends on what label you slap on it. I'm not a fan of doing dishes, but I really like how the kitchen looks after. And when I'm willing to, I can make doing dishes a meditative experience. If you go slow, bring your awareness to your hands, the hot water, the soap. Cleaning up a mess can be symbolic of cleaning up your mind. I mean, you can really make doing dishes a holy experience. You can make doing anything a holy experience. It all depends on how you label it. So think about that today. It's your time to think. And think about serving our families. Yes, we tend to forget that service to our families is every bit as valuable as service to the community, service to your churches. Take labels off. Go back to when you were really excited about something and completion is an accomplishment. Nobody messes with you when you're cleaning. Right. Yeah. If you're cleaning and people know if they get near you, they're going to be drafted into service. That's a brilliant way to get time to yourself. I used to clean my dad's garage whenever he lived in Peoria, which is a suburb of Phoenix. So when I'd go out there, I'd clean his garage because I was a little overwhelmed by all the people there. His wife and just other people coming and going that I didn't know very well. So I would hide in the garage and clean his whole garage top to bottom. And you're right, no one was ever out there with me. That's awesome. Okay, so go to your Catch.me channels and check your autosave box and save your settings. And then try to go through today without labeling. Just see what happens. Just be curious about it. Treat it lightly. It's not an order and you can't get it wrong. And then think about going back in time to the last time you felt super excited to do something and do it again. Do more of it. Bring it back. And just see what happens. Just be curious. Just see. You've got nothing to lose. So, and you've got everything to gain. So I got to run. I got to go into town and pick up our groceries because, yeah, UPS. So that'll be my practice today in not labeling having to go to town as bad when I didn't want to go. So, all right. Yeah, so I'll come back around this afternoon or early evening to talk about an oil. Very quickly, if you have an oil request you want to know more of, throw it up here or send me a tweet. Treasure to find. Hey, I like that. You're going to smudge with your sage for the first time today. Excellent. Yes, I like that, Roseanne. Go into today looking for treasure. Go into your life today, into your past today, and looking for treasure with an attitude of, I'm going to find treasure. There's treasure in your life right now. I love that. Oh, that's great. Treasure. Go treasure hunting today. And then write it down. Make some notes so you don't forget. Leave yourself a voicemail. You're a pirate! Okay, I'll see you guys this afternoon. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And enjoy your treasure hunting today. All right, bye. Oh, and if you think of an oil you want me to talk about this afternoon, matey, send me a tweet. All